So today's date is time is now. Oh, tonight is now especially it's midnight 22 p.m. Time is now 7th of January 2026. Basically, so basically this is fucking sneezing stuff again. Literally, I'm coughing my eyes out. Okay, so basically, my YouTube video types of old cameras. Basically, one second, my work here. This year, I've been work updating on the 1st of December. I've been updated by the Good Journal, but on the Good Journal, it has been it's kind of fucking room because I have to keep track of time. So basically, I was in prison that fucking place in St. George's from St. George's Lesser to Mitchell. The movie hit the fucking, it's gotta find my way out. Anyway, quantum tunneling, explore quantum tunneling. I really made this one. But this is okay. To my makeup update, basically, problem statement. Quantum tunneling duality to explore quantum tunneling in a parallel processing mirror interface, which are called mirror interface. Because any quantum tunnel is a mirror interface. It's a reflection of the state in realities. So basically, this is my makeup. To get a quantum reality, to get a reality, quantum reality, you get two realities. So you get a quantum reality. So you get a quantum reality. Anyway, so you get a quantum reality. For example, you get two. So if you get a polar camera, the polar camera has three realities. So for me, there'll be Uche, Eze, and Obi. So a quantum reality is a reality that it's going to share your quantum tunnel. Because basically three realities to tripolar. Because I have tripolar, so basically, if I only exist as Uche in one dimension, there's Eze in another, and we share those three realities. We are just moving fabrics in space and time. That's what I'm saying. It's a mirror interface. Because I'm tripolar. Because that's what it works. Makes sense to me. So basically, if I hit a hammer with a note, basically kind of like temple the game. But I can't remember what example was. If I hit a hammer, a sledgehammer, and I hit it with a sword, I get the sword to shape. The tone gets lighter and lighter. Higher and higher to the highest last hit. The same for the string of the guitar, because the tones are literally strings that vibrate, and when the string vibrate, that means that the same effect happen. Basically, this is Pythagorean the it's covering, but basically the string of fabric will share all the vibrations based on the way. Because if I'm laying about cello, I'm playing a cello or violin, or I'm hitting a hammer to make music. I'm making music, but I'm on frequency. Because the instrument is just a musical thing I used to create. Because you explore reality. Because that's what makes the music matter. Like, you can create your own reality, spin a new thread based on the fabric you're in. Because if there's no sledges, hammers, or strings, you can make the same note a different. Wow, it's a resonance. It has a resonance. You guys are resonance together on. So to explore quantum tunneling in a parallel processing mirror interface, I'm saying, so processes that polarize to you. That's why I love that analogy, because processes that polarize to you. Fuck off, man. Sometimes you fucking man. Basically, why we can observe photons by naked eyes. Basically, if you have a magnifier, you can start to develop the quantum effects of photons. But that magnifier will be at a quantum level, so you have to be without destroying your eyes. And that's really basically, I'm saying to you, you can observe the photons behavior in your naked eyes, but I don't think you even see the mass unless you have take some measure. I want to take some measurement of it, because they can be in two states at once. So because this is like the photo example. The photo example is not just an example I use. It's an example that literally can use. But if you have the magnifying glass, you can measure in the room. You can measure red, green, blue, and see with your naked eyes. That's why it's quantum tunneling. And see how they affect you. I see how the waves and pattern as a policy knowledge. So this is my makeup. What date did I don't remember why I was the second date. This is this was the one I was, last one I was. So we got the quantum tunnel. So basically, you got carbon, which has one proton, one neutron. Basically, I don't remember the carbon matter. But basically, you can use carbon monoxide, carbon as an atom, that can be molecular. Basically, it has a kind of structure. What's the police stuff, blah, blah. and CGO and peaceful. Basically, to develop. Oh yes, okay. When did I write this fucking thing? Draft. Muka open stance. No. This is my laptop situation. No, I haven't read this. Okay, look at this. Basically, what I'm saying. Private and confidential. Softball. Oh, it's like softball, hardball. Is the ball soft or is it hard? So basically, I got this. So basically, to develop an open active sparse login via Windows, basically to log in with your Handsinger, so Handsinger interface, non-optional Lapis integration, because you get the power, you get the for all states of control via Muko sense, basically for the weighted line, which is 1 minus t, given the time. Time 1 minus c, 1 minus t times c, where c is a camera projection point, which I'm listening here. I'm on antiquephotography.com. This is my Muko journal, antiquephotography.com. 1 minus t times c, 1 minus t times c. Times t plus p, which is the weighted average. Because the t represents the space of time the moving tape, but this is Lapis, because that's the weighted average you have between 2 points A and B. That's the formula that I just given you. So the weighted line has this property of weight, and the weight is considered a quantum property. Basically, it's like a stroke of taking a pen, and more pressure. It doesn't matter the pen you have. You can apply more pressure, but the pressure based on the pressure you apply is based on the ball point. How large the ball point is at the end of the pen or pencil. Which called a ballpoint pen. So basically, if you're gonna write once, you're gonna write to the pen once, or that's why it matters to me. So it's a quantum principle there, because the point have stroke. But if you're with your own thread, you're literally scaffolding rewriting on the dimensional axis you're on from so the polar inverse via our subject of sparse conjugate. Non-active to active, signal to noise, disjunct. The Lapis line XYC or T with distance L space. So basically, you can have space and time, and time is space, because you can measure one of each reality. But okay, basically here I got this now. Basically what both of us. So basically today's video is actually just forget this smelling. It's making me sick. It's making me sick to smell it. So I did find this now. I put it on the floor. It should go on now. The smell this is making me sick. It's like coughing a lot. So it's kind of making me sick because they've been on the floor. I got more here to do now. Okay, this is one of one. So basically, so what was I say? So this is Betano. So basically, so type of old cameras, basically, you get the type of old cameras here, and this will say, so you get the vintage cameras which are 50 years and above, but I don't like that, so a lot of different vintage cameras are not this time, 100 years is above, because 100 years is double 50 years, but 100 years is like, so I'm saying decade, if I can live a decade, that's just 10 years, basically, because it's getting old, okay, if I get something retro, 10 years, I can still use a retro thing, but the goal of this kind of like thing is, okay, if you're not able to use it because you don't know how it works, that's why it matters so much. Because you get retro, meaning 10 years, you get vintage, if it goes 50 years, a new computer, because I don't know how to interact with the computer to turn it on, and that's what video matters to me. It's like the computer that I turned on yesterday changed today. I'm so confused because the kids but it's just an idea. If I forget this concept right now, I'll just play to you. I would know if it was told I make a computer in the 50 years time, because 50 years is what vintage. The computer is vintage, but it's got a new interface, new software. So basically, this is going to my TMP or terabyte per minute flash sequence. So vintage cameras or Polaroid cameras are all vintage. But I don't want to define it because define it wrong. So what is a vintage camera? No, what is a Polaroid camera? So a Polaroid camera is 10 years. No, 10 years. How many generations is 10 years? That's even a generation. That's even a 25 years. Okay, we think, 2 generations is 50 years. So basically, a Polaroid camera, especially people live to the grandpa, so the grandpa. So basically, that'll be 2 generations. My granddad, that'll be 25 years. 50 years is 50 years and above is retro. Because if you live 50 years, you have kids by then. If you don't, other people you do. I don't want kids. I don't care about kids. 50 years. So 25, because I don't want you guys to. I don't really care. I care. It's not my problem. So my problem is how this again. 25 years, which is just 1 generation. Because 25 years, they get son. So he gets one at 0 years, 1 years old. And then if you don't go down 50 years, so 50 years is vintage. They get what else? 50 years. They get 100 years. So get a double of stuff. So get a retro. So you get vintage. So what was it? Vintage is 50 years. 50 years. 51, 1. So get 50. 2. So get 50 times 3. So basically 50 times 3 is what? 50 times 3. 150. Keep quiet. 150 years is what? 150 years is what? 150 years is vintage. Because I'm not making this up. That's how that meant to work. Anyway, so this is one from like 150 years is what vintage, 50 years is retro. So we can know we will update it. Know how to tailor to people that are actually old. You know what I'm saying? Because people that say that the people that are old don't say they're old. You know what I'm saying? They say they're young. When they have sense. When collecting old cameras, direct but you got Kodak. So this camera is like important. It's just like it's like if I have a big camera thing I put on my shoulder, and I have like a phone. Those are the same camera, but they are different. But that's kind of an OB problem. That's kind of a problem with the OB. OBI is the one that Creed destroyed. Basically, my persona. That guy has a full up. Basically, if OBI gives you a camera. Gives you a camera that's not your camera. It never has been your camera. Don't take that camera. If it gives you food, you can be concerned. If it gives you food, actually feeds you. You can be concerned. But if it gives you something that's digital and it says that that's yours now and it's free of charge and you don't have any business to do with it, be careful. That camera is gone. That's what's not yours. That's like a camera you saw that you wanted, but it's not yours. So the camera you can the kind of thing I'm saying, you got a vintage camera, but the current camera is like that. So you get a vintage camera there. Basically, OBI's vintage camera is there. So basically, it doesn't matter if it's a big camera or no. If he doesn't give you that, if it's yours, you have to check what is yours, But if he creates a great camera, he can destroy it. Because he doesn't have cameras. He doesn't show. If you have a camera and he thinks on you flashing, you can make that camera from the scraps you have. But your camera is his basically your treasure. His treasure is your paradise. Basically, your treasure. Your old scraps. He doesn't need to do it. You just gotta build your own camera. You're gonna build 10 times better than what you have. I'm gonna make you funny. Because he doesn't need the money to do it. He just copies your design, but then puts it in a different configuration. Because you can create camera, can destroy it. And that camera is never yours because you just sign a contract with him. That's how he wants to be free. He's free to create. Literally, he doesn't need the permission to start creating anything. If I was his case, OBR, I won't be auctioning anything. I'll be creating my stuff, I'll be building my gun right now. Because I don't really give a shit. But say so. This is these are little models. So what I'm saying is that. So basically, look at what handheld camera, but this is like a film you take. This is a film camera. So this film is so legendary, but this is like a better. It's like a better Polaroid camera because you have to hold it with one hand. So this is what I'm saying. So this it's so ergonomic. Like you just hold it with a fucking hand. You just took a fucking view. I had one of these in Nigeria, but I didn't want to buy a bought of 2 Polaroids for my brother. My brother thought he used all of it. But you can just spend money on this fucking camera. I'll be fine. I'll be fucking fine. It's just saying. No, actually, let me make it proper because I'm not fucking stupid. So, it's gonna affect me. I'm gonna make it now. Polaroid camera, legacy, not legacy. Polaroid, camera. These are basically all these problems are qualification problems. look, I don't really care anyway. So basically, you got Obi has Mr. Hart or so has a collection group, and the collection groups are basically just what he knows. It doesn't matter what we tell him to use it for. He's just anything. It's also the same problem, but it's also quick and faster because he already started the problem beforehand. So it's like he's taking apart your camera, to make your camera. That's what Obi. That's what everyone's scared of Namdi. Obi and he doesn't when he's in that state, when he's that flow, there's no going back. He can't undo what he did because you don't know how it was set up. How the camera became the camera. No matter it's a flash camera, so time to come. This comes with vintage cameras, but so you get Polaroid. Stop. Sure. So you get 100 years. So you get 25 times 3. Let's track 25 times 3, which is 75. So 5 years is a generation in the open framework. So it will be 3 generations. So it can be so for example we keep Polaroid cameras for 25 years, So this should work for 75 years of people's life. When I did 75, I should be able to still use what was there, my Mac OS. I should be able to log in. I don't care about the software or hardware, but I should not have my account fragmented. As a policy, I should just be logging and see my children, whatever digital voice they are, if I have fucking kids or my friends, because I don't care about kids. I don't care. So get 100 years, 100 times 3. Which is 300 years, but 100 years times 3 years. So if it's vintage, it will be 150 years. 150 times 3 will be, basically 75 times 3. 75 times 3 is what? That'll be 225 years. That'll be vintage, because vintage will be something that my grandfather could use and I could use well. So my grandfather to teach me. So I'm gonna add another 25 years. No, another 75 years plus 25. Because I teach you everyone catching Campbell. 300 years. So 300 years is just because adding some 5 because I'm doing this right. I don't care as long as I can be used those things and teach those things. And it cannot bother me. So you guys can lose those. I don't really care. 300 years is the vintage year. That's what it's meant to. It's not 50 fucking years over again. As a policy, because I'm not stupid like you people. So these are micro conversations. So we get this thing here. We get the black holes. No, basically the black holes is Sagittarius A. Basically Sagittarius A is like where the black holes are. Because basically, I was just remembered mostly when I was young, I was in my project in Nigeria, but I was watching a documentary on the news. I think it was National Geographic, but I loved them because I remember them in Enugu State. But my dad's company, I was watching National Geographic. I was thinking about the stars. What is National Geographic? No, basically I was thinking about the stars. Basically, I'm trying to measure time by observing things move, drift in space. But that drift is not. It's a place in news. Basically, as a policy, the time should pass in a constellation, which are called constellation. Basically, our references are Sagittarius A. Now, Sagittarius A is where the black hole is at the center of the universe is, and that's a cosmic zone or hotspot for business. Basically, any alien life that understands the universe and the Milky Way or the symbols or any meaning, is that everyone goes to the center, because the center is where everything is from our reference point. That's where everything is. That's where you have to go there. Because we are new. It's not because we want to go there. It's because that's where all the internet will be. Yes, it's not that you Stephen Hawking. You have to know this because that's what the intergalactic thing will be. Because if you work it out, so T equals V sine. This is the 4.0. I don't really know what sine is. Basically, I try to give out a so it's meant to work all these fucking ions. The gaseous interstellar medium means a fucking men's IQ test is fucking on Britannia.com. If you see Stephen Hawking's face and he's there watching this fucking mess today, he doesn't like it actually. I don't really care. But I just want to say to you, it's gonna work for people. It can't change. You guys can't change this. You guys can never change this. The 300 years is what 300 to 200 years is what it's a vintage year, decade. Because if it doesn't work, it works for me. So I'm gonna make it 200 years because I'm not stupid. That should be now lots of me for me to be happy with the progress of technology. Because if it breaks for me and it breaks for someone else, someone will solve the problem, and that's me. I don't ask you for. I just start solving my problem. I'm not asking for anyone's permission to solve problems. I've never asked a teacher, "Can you solve my problem? Can you do my homework for me?" I've never paid my teacher to. I've never asked her to pay money to do my homework. Because people do that. you know. But if I did that, I'll do it online. I wasn't even in the school buildings. I'm just telling you, teachers, I do that sometimes. You know, when I'm smart, no, because you know, you waste my time with more homework that you know that wasn't meant to be in a classroom environment. You know. Okay, thank you guys. Basically, I got my more notes here. This is my pack. It's just more journal notes, and I have to do it later. So, basically, thank you, Namdi. Let's go. Stop this video now.